Hello everyone, today I am going to give a presentation on the topic sampling and signal recovery for the subject signals and systems. So let's get started. First of all, I would like to give you an introduction to sampling. Basically, sampling is the discretization of continuous time signals. It is the measurement of instantaneous values of continuous time signals in discrete form. And sample is a piece of data taken from the whole data which is continuous in the time domain. So moving on to why is it even necessary? We are using sampling to convert continuous time signals into discrete time signals, which means we want discrete form of signal. Why is it necessary? Basically, our technology has gone digital right now in the world, and it will continue going more and more widespread. But our real life signals are analog or continuous in nature. Hence, it is important for us to convert the information stored in our continuous time signals to discrete format so that it can be processed by our digital technology. That is the simplest need for sampling. Now we require the basic understanding of time period and frequency for this. To discretize the signals, the gap between the samples should be fixed, and that gap is termed as the sampling period. And sampling frequency, as you know, is the reciprocal of sampling period. It is also called the sampling rate. So this is f of s is 1 upon t of s. Next. So we are sampling an information signal into a discrete signal. So that signal is called the message signal. So we are taking a continuous x of t, which is a band limited signal. A band limited signal is a signal whose Fourier transformation has non-zero frequencies only for a small range of frequencies, here minus omega m to plus omega m. Now we have taken the Fourier transformation of this x of t continuous time signal, and we have got this capital X of omega. And omega m, this omega m is the maximum frequency component of the message signal. So if x of t has many frequency components, the maximum of those is omega m. Now the second thing required in our sampling is an impulse train. So the first one was a message signal. The second is an impulse train, which is also a continuous time signal. Let read this as d of t, and its time period is capital T of s. Now this Ts is called the sampling period or the sampling interval, which we talked about earlier, and omega s, the angular frequency, is 2 pi by Ts. Now these two continuous time signals we will give into a sampler, which is a device which acts as a multiplier. It simply multiplies these both signals and produces the output, which has the area or the weight of the impulses, basically the height of the arrows here, which is equal to the value in instantaneous value of x of t, and this is an impulse train, which is many impulses put together. Now we have understood that we are multiplying x of t and d of t to get another signal y of t. We are considering these all signals in the frequency domain. So to convert them into frequency domain, we are using the Fourier transformation. Y of t is simply x of t into dt. After Fourier transformation, y of omega becomes x of omega convoluted with t of omega 1 by 2 pi. This is the property of Fourier transformation. When two signals are multiplied and the Fourier transformation is applied, their convolution and multiplied by 1 by 2 pi is the result. Now for this signal, the impulse train dt, this is a summation of delta t minus n ts, where n runs from minus infinity to plus infinity. After Fourier transformation of this, we get capital D of omega, which is omega s into summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity delta of omega minus n omega s. This is the basic Fourier transformation. Now we will put the value of capital D of omega into this equation, and we will find the value of capital Y of omega. So y of omega is 1 by 2 pi convolution of x of omega into, this is the value of d of omega which we got. Now we are taking this omega s outside the convolution and we are taking this x of omega inside the summation sign. Now we have a property of an impulse signal which says that any signal multiplied with an impulse like this, x of t convoluted, sorry, not multiplied, convoluted with delta of t minus t1 gives you x of t minus t1. Basically this t is replaced by whatever is inside the impulse bracket. So here in this formula also, capital X of omega convoluted with delta of omega minus n omega s, we will substitute this omega by omega minus n omega s. So this is our final result for y of omega. Now we are simply putting the value of n from minus infinity to plus infinity in this formula, and we are expanding the formula of y of omega. So this becomes 1 upon ts, all these terms, m of omega plus omega s, m omega minus omega s, and all these other terms. Now basically we have to plot this y of omega. So first of all, let us plot m omega, obviously multiplied by 1 upon ts. So this is the waveform which is similar to m of omega. Only the magnitude here will be changed. Also, all these extra terms will be added to this signal. So m of omega minus omega s is basically the same waveform shifted by the value omega s. So take this triangular waveform and simply shift it here. Where there was 0, there is omega s. Where there was omega m, now there is omega m plus omega s. Where there was minus omega m, there is minus omega m plus omega s. Basically this whole thing is just shifted by omega s. And the difference between these two values, basically the gap between these two triangular waveforms, is known as the guard band. Now here, consider this situation where there is a gap. There is omega m here and there is omega s minus omega m. Omega s minus omega m is greater than omega m, which means omega s is greater than 2 omega m. Now this condition shows you the condition where there is no overlap. Now this is important because when we will recover the signal, there is a condition that the signal should have no overlap, because if there is overlap, if this triangle overlaps with this triangle over here, there would be a part of the signal which would get corrupted. We will not be able to recover that signal back. So we need no overlapping. So moving on, so whatever we just discussed about the condition here about no overlap, this is simply the sampling theorem. This is very simple. Any signal can be represented in its sample and can be recovered back when the sampling frequency, which is omega s, is greater than or equal to twice the maximum frequency component present in the signal, which we discussed is 2 omega m. So omega s greater than equal to twice omega m will give you a signal which we will be able to recover back. So this is the condition omega s greater than twice omega m, and this is the condition omega s equal to 2 omega m. Moving on to signal recovery. Now we passed a signal x of t and dt into the sampler. It multiplied, we got a y of t. Now we have to take our original signal back. We have to recover our signal back. So we will pass it through a low pass filter. And the low pass filter has the cutoff frequency omega c. For all the values above it, it is 0. It also has a gain t of s. And after passing y of t by low pass filter, we get our recovered signal xr of t. Now I am saying the frequency response is h of omega. Basically, it is the ratio of the output versus the input, and here we are dealing in the frequency domain. So h of omega is capital X of R, capital X R of omega by y of omega. So from here we have one equation of the output, which is xr of omega is h of omega multiplied by y of omega. From here we can multiply these both waveforms and see what happens when we multiply these both waveforms. This is h of omega from minus infinity to minus omega c, and from omega c to infinity it is 0. So when we have put it over r y of omega, whatever the value of y of omega from minus infinity to minus omega c, and from omega c to infinity, it is null and void because the value of h of omega is 0. And whatever the value of the signal from minus omega c to minus omega m, minus omega c to minus omega m, and omega c, from omega m to omega c, that will also be 0 because the value of y of omega, is 0 here. Only the values coming in between minus omega m to plus omega m will contribute. So this is our recovered signal from minus omega m to plus omega m. Below this and after this we have got 0. And the gain was Ts for our h omega, and the value here for our y omega is 1 upon Ts. So the value of this point in the triangle is 1. Also, this was our original message signal. So basically we have found that our recovered signal will be same as the original message signal if we have this condition: omega m less than omega c less than omega s minus omega m. If you remember, this point is omega s minus omega m. Here, omega s minus omega m. So if there is this condition, omega m less than omega c less than omega s minus omega m, we can successfully recover our signal. Also, this is the condition where there is no overlapping. Basically, there is a gap also. Now there is 3 conditions in signal recovery where signal recovery is possible. See, here we had the signal where it is in between. There is no equality signs here. Even if there is equality here, if this signal is minus infinity to a, b, c, d, infinity. This is the first signal. The second is minus infinity to p, q, r, s, infinity. This is the second signal which we just discussed. And the third condition or the third signal is minus infinity to x, y, z, w, infinity. This is the third part. Any of these h of omegas will work. Why? Because the other values, like from minus infinity to x is 0, from minus infinity to p is 0, from minus infinity to a is 0. Anyway, one or the other, either y of omega is 0 or h of omega is 0. Basically only in this triangular waveform region is the value necessary for our recovery. Only thing which we need to consider is there should be no overlap. There should be no overlap, otherwise the successful recovery is possible. So the condition for the recovery is omega m less than equal to omega c less than equal to omega s minus omega m, and the sampling theorem condition omega s greater than equal to twice omega m, that is the condition for no overlap. These 2 conditions are necessary for successful signal recovery. Thank you.